My name is Jong-woo Han. I'm the president of Korean War Legacy Foundation. Here in San Juan, Puerto Rico, it is my great honor and pleasure to meet you. Would you please introduce yourself to the audience, your name, and spell it for them?
I am Rafael Gomez Hernandez.
And what is your birthday?
January 26, 1928.
Wow. So you born
Sure.
1 year before the Great Depression.
No.
1929, that was a Great Depression.
1929 and 30th. That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And where were you born?
In San Lorenzo, Puerto Rico.
Tell me about your family when you were growing up, your parents and your siblings.
Well, I am a member of a family of 8 brothers, father and mother.
8 brothers?
Brothers and sisters.
Sisters.
Yeah.
8 of them.
5,
Brothers?
no, 3 brothers and 5 sisters.
Are you the eldest?
No, I am number 7.
Number 7. Tell me, how was it growing as a number 7 in your family?
Well, I don't know why, but I was number 7, and I study in schools in the country most of the time, and later graduate from high school in San Lorenzo, Puerto Rico.
When?
It was in 49.
And did you learn anything about Asia or Korea during your school?
I never knew anything about Korea in particular. Yeah, about Asia, yes. About China and India and other countries around, but not Korea.
Why not? Why not? You didn't know about my country?
No.
Oh, come on.
When the war ended, when the war started, I knew about Korea because, the radio and the newspapers.
So what were you thinking after the high school graduation? What were you trying to do?
The economic situation in Puerto Rico was different from now. There were no money to continue studying, so when I finished high school, I started working in a drugstore.
How much were you paid?
They used to give me $6 per week.
$6 per week?
Yeah.
So what could you buy with the $6?
I don't know. Go to to see a movie or buy some small things with the $6. But by that time, $6 was a lot of money.
A lot of money?
Yeah.
How much was for the gasoline for 1 gallon?
There were no cars.
No cars.
Yeah. No gasoline.
So when did you join the military then?
In 1950, after I graduated from high school, as I told you, I was working in a drugstore, and some militaries from the Canal Zone came to Puerto Rico and talked to me about the examination they were going to give for Buchanan, Puerto Rico. They were going to get some 85 students from Puerto Rico, graduate from high school, to study for officers at the Canal Zone in Panama.
Ah.
So I was one of them.
Uh-huh.
But
Was it draft or enlist?
I enlisted.
Enlisted.
Volunteer. It was the 20th of June 1950.
I'm sorry?
20th of June 1950, I entered the army.
Mm-hmm.
5 days later, the Korean War started.
Right. Wow.
So?
You never imagined.
No. So we were taken to Panama to take basic training for 2 months.
What kind?
combat infantry practices at the canal zone in Panama, in the jungle, almost day and night.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, we formed with the Company I, formed the 3rd Battalion of the 65th Infantry, which was stationed at the Canal Zone. The 2 other regiments were stationed in Puerto Rico. So, the 2 battalions stationed in Puerto Rico left for the canals for Korea.
From
From Puerto Rico, about the 20th, I think it was 20th of September 1950.
mm-hmm.
So 3 or 4 days later, they were the ship, which was the Marine Lynx,
Yeah.
joined our ship at the Canal Zone in Panama City. The 3rd Battalion was using the ship Sergeant Woodford of the Navy. So during the day of maybe the 23 or 24, I don't remember exactly,
September. Yeah.
1950, their ship left the Canal Zone for Korea.
Mm-hmm.
I think they went to Japan before going to Korea.
Yep.
Our ship, which was the Sergeant Woodford, took us to Honolulu in Hawaii. There they gave pass to us during the day, and during the night we returned to the ship. But about 3 or 4 days later, the ship was something wrong with it, and came back to Hawaii. In that case, they took us to Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
So
When was it? Is it also September?
yes, September.
Okay. What did you know about the Korean War at the time? Did you know anything? What's going on there?
I only knew that North Korea had invaded South Korea, and we are going there
What made you feel about it?
because of the talking in the ship.
And were you afraid?
No. When you are 20 years old, you're not afraid of anything.
You were not.
No.
Mm.
So
But you were not excited to be in the war, right?
that was fun for me. I was 20 years old, and I didn't care anything about. I didn't know what being scared was. So
So what happened to you?
I went volunteer to Korea because at the Canal Zone in the I Company, when we finished the training, the company commander asked me if I wanted to stay in one of the hospitals or the pharmacy, one of the hospitals at the Canal Zone. And I said, no, I want to go with the company. So I went volunteer also to Korea, because I could have stayed at the Canal Zone in the pharmacy of the hotel, of the hospital. See what I mean?
Yeah.
So as I told you before, our ship got wrecked in some way and returned to Pearl Harbor. From Pearl Harbor, in Pearl Harbor, we took a big ship called General Partridge. A big white ship, looked like a hospital ship or something.
Mm-hmm.
That ship took us to Korea, and we arrived there the 1st of October.
Where?
To Busan.
Tell me about Busan you saw for the first time.
Busan, all I remember was a city with a lot of people and a lot of movement, military trucks, and at the moment we arrived at the port, it took us in trucks some miles to the north, Well, they have caught the rice
Paddy.
near a river.
Yeah.
So, and from there we started moving up often.
Did you encounter North Koreans at the time? No.
No.
Not many, right?
We used to encounter with the North Koreans in small groups, mostly in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
But going up was easily for us with the North Koreans, because some people said that the North Koreans were pretty scared from Puerto Ricans.
And September 15th, there was Incheon landing by MacArthur, General MacArthur. So the North Korean soldier was fleeing away from Busan area.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that. The South Korean army was divided in groups and assigned to units of the U.S. So in our company, we had some of them, South Korean soldiers.
Do you remember any?
I remember some of them used to sleep at night when they were not supposed to be sleeping. So the situation or the problem with the North Koreans was not so hard, but when China came down with about, I think it was 200,000 soldiers, there were Chinese people for everybody.
Do you see them now? Can you see them now?
In my imagination,
Yeah.
I can see all of them coming to attack us day and night. Mostly during the night, because the Chinese used to attack during the night,
but
making a lot of noise. Maybe you know about that.
From Busan, you marched toward north, right? And where did you go?
We walked the Korean peninsula about 3 or 4 times, all the way up, all the way down, depending on what we get with in North Korea.
Did you go through Seoul?
Sure.
So from Busan, you march into Seoul, right?
We stopped in different places.
But tell me the major path that you took. Where did you go and what did you do? As long as you can remember.
Remember, we were young people, and we used to do what we were told to do, and move to some place, and they never gave, most of the time they never gave us the name of the place. I remember the Han River. I remember the Chosin reservoirs, which were the place where we defend the First Marines, because the Chinese, when they came down in November, destroyed most of the Marines of the First Division.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember we took care of the Third Marines Division, the First Marine Division, all the way down until they went to the ships in 1950 evacuation.
Yep.
That's something that I will never forget, I think, because the 65th was the last unit to leave the Hunan port when the evacuation came.
Wow. So 65th Infantry Division was infantry regiment. Was the last unit?
The last unit to leave the Hunan port at the evacuation in 1950.
Were you at the Jangjin Reservoir?
Yeah.
You were up there?
We were there taking care of the Marines that were being destroyed by the Chinese.
Describe that scene, please.
Well, the snow was up to here. And everybody was covered with everything they had because of the cold weather. And
tell me about that cold weather. how did you feel? You from Puerto Rico.
But I think we Puerto Ricans can afford being in cold weathers better than the guys from the U.S.
Really?
I don't know why, because when I was at the honor guard of the 3rd Infantry Division, where I was from January 1st, 1951 to June the same year, 6 months, I was with the honor guard of the 3rd Division. During the mornings, we could see the soldiers from the U.S. Warming their hands in some fire, and I used to go out without shirt to wash my car with ice. I mean, my face with ice. That's a big difference.
Yeah. I heard there was almost 50, 40 minus Fahrenheit, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Did you wear winter jacket? You didn't have a winter jacket, right?
We have winter jackets.
You did?
Yeah.
You had it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're lucky.
Mm-hmm. We have winter jackets, and we have the
Mickey Mouse?
sleeping bags,
Oh.
and we have good equipment.
So tell me about when you were facing the Chinese there in Changjin battle.
When you have to shoot somebody in order to keep yourself alive, you do what you have to do.
What were you thinking at the time?
When you are young, you don't care about anything. Most of the time, I would say. Yeah, that is my case. But I just did what somebody else asked me to do.
How often were you able to eat, and what did you eat?
Sometimes we stayed 3 or 4 days without eating a hot meal, just eating sea rations, and sometimes they were frozen. And one time I remember I ate a frozen hamburger from our rations. It was like eating soil.
Hmm.
My teeth used to like
Yeah.
grinding some earth or soil, something. But thanks to God, I am alive.
Yeah. Did you see many Korean refugees in Hungnam Harbor?
Korean refugees were all the time going up, going down, going up, going down with the cows loaded with all the belongings, and it was. You should be glad you didn't see that. But Korea was a real poor country. Now it's different.
Mm-hmm. So when you graduated your high school in 1949 and joined the military, you never imagined to be in Jangjin Reservoir.
No.
Looking back all those years, how do you put all this experience into a perspective? Why were you there, and what were you doing, and why do you think it's...
Well, I was there because I decided to enter and dedicate my life maybe in the military of the U.S. If the Korean War happened, I had to accept everything about going to Korea, because it was a soldier, and soldiers are supposed to obey orders. So if I am in the U.S. Army, and the U.S. Army is defending a country like yours, it was nice for us to be there doing our job, defending your country.
Do you remember the name of the ship that you were in from Hungnam Harbor when you evacuated from there? The name of ship.
When during the...
At Hungnam. You evacuated from Hungnam, right?
No. There were lots of ships outside there receiving troops. And I think the least thing that could worry us was the name of the ship.
Okay. So what happened to you after that? Where did you go? Did you go to Busan?
After what?
After Hungnam, from Jangjin battle, where did you go?
From Hunan?
Yeah.
From Hunan, we kept going all the way up. I mean, from Hunan to Busan,
Busan.
and go back to the front again.
Front again. Where? Remember? Pokchap Hill or?
It was a few miles north of Busan, and it was almost the 31st of December when we were there.
Uh-huh.
And the same night we reached a place where we are going to stay. They assigned me to the honor guard of the 3rd Infantry Division. As I told you, I was with the honor guard 6 months until the 1st of July 1951. In September 1951, the 18th of September, I got wounded on my back while I was trying to get one of our soldiers dead out with me.
What was it, bullet or?
Artillery fragment.
Where was it?
Close to my backbone here.
Backbone. Where was it? Do you remember?
Where?
Where? Yeah.
It was, I remember. It was, we have taken a hill at the north of the Chorwon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Chorwon is about 12 miles from the parallel.
Yep. That's one of the Iron Triangle.
Yeah.
Wow, you were there.
Sure.
And who was your enemy? North Koreans or Chinese?
Most of them were Chinese.
Chinese.
Mm.
Do you remember any moment where you were fighting against them? And
There was 3 or 4 times about the same. You shoot them, they shoot you, and you are sometimes you don't remember what happens
how close were you?
with the enemy.
Yeah.
Just like here.
No, you kidding.
So we used to use the bayonet one time.
Like this?
Sure.
No.
It's in the history of the Korea. The Puerto Ricans were the only ones, I think, that used the bayonet with the enemy.
You have a man-to-man with the bayonet?
So yeah,
Jeez.
that is one of the things that never forget. And the time I tried to took one of our boys dead out to be sent to the family, and I couldn't do it because I was wounded. It was as I told you, the 18th of September 1951.
So you were awarded with the Purple Heart?
Sure.
Yes. When did you leave Korea?
Around the first days of December 1951.
So you were treated in the hospital?
Sure.
Where?
I don't remember. It was a hospital.
In Incheon? Was it in the ship?
No, it was
MASH unit?
tent. They used tents
MASH, yes.
for the military. I mean, for the medical personnel.
And were you completely recovered from the wound?
Yeah.
Tell me about what was the most difficult thing during your service in Korea. If you are asked one thing to come up, what was the most difficult?
The time we spent helping the Marines get out of Korea.
In Jangjin Reservoir.
Yeah, in Changjin Reservoir.
Tell me more about it.
Sometimes we had to be without sleeping 3 or 4, 5 or 6 or something nights. And sometimes you sleep while you walk.
Is that possible?
some cannot do it, some can do it, but the desire to keep alive help you to do things that are not in your imagination.
Did you play God?
No,
You didn't talk to God?
no, sir.
Does that
Yes, ma'am.
bother you still?
Yes.
Do you see some dreams?
Well, I have bad dreams, and I have nightmares, and I have everything.
So you have a PTSD.
I have been in a PTSD clinic here for 2 years, but they haven't given me anything for that.
Why not?
I don't know. Because of the guys working on that aspect. Maybe I think most or nearly all of them have never been in the military, and they are deciding what they can give in regard, to us.
Did your family know about your wound?
I don't think so.
You didn't write a letter back
because
to them?
My youngest 2 daughters have known about my wounds.
No, not your children, but your family, your brothers and sisters and your parents.
No.
You
They never knew about me about that.
Why not? Didn't you write the right letter back to them? You didn't write.
No.
Oh.
I never mentioned anything. As I told you, I was telling you, during the last couple of years, I told my youngest 2 daughters about that, but before I never said anything about that.
Why not?
I never thought it was interesting to anybody. You see, in Puerto Rico, the idea about the veterans is different from the idea in the U.S.
How different?
Because in the U.S., a wounded soldier with this, they are patriots, and they almost the young kids say you thank you for your services. Not here,
What do you mean not here?
because this is not the continental U.S. Thinking about war is different.
So tell me, how different is it? Why is it not here? Is that because too many Puerto Ricans went to war, so that it becomes just normal?
Well, the things came, the thought of Puerto Rico about the veterans changed when the Vietnam War. You know, many people veterans from Vietnam are sick.
Yeah.
And in Puerto Rico, there was a general idea that the guys returning from Vietnam were crazy people, or sick people, or anything. But we have to live with it.
Yeah. Have you been back to Korea?
I would like to.
You would like to?
Sure.
Huh.
In one of the meetings we had last year, I think it was, with people from Korea,
Yes.
I suggest to one of them to talk with the governmental people in South Korea to see about the opportunity for us Puerto Rican veterans, Korean veterans, to go there. Somebody else paying.
Yeah. Korean government has a program called Revisit Program, and they pay for it. So if you want to, let me know.
I would like to.
Yes.
I'm telling you now.
Yeah. So do you know what happened to Korea after the war? About the economy and politics and so
During
on?
the Korean War, I'm glad you didn't see it because it was a very poor country in all aspects. Now, Korea is within the 10th economic powers in Earth, and it's a technological power also. Everything is different. Korea now, as I have seen in pictures, is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't know about Korea 65 years ago.
Yeah, Korea is now 11th largest economy in the world and most substantive democracy in Asia. It's a prospering country.
Sure.
And we were able to do that because you fought there in Changjin Reservoir.
Thank you.
Oh my God. You know?
That's the way it is.
So what is the legacy of the Korean War and the Korean War veterans, in your opinion?
That we have to do everything possible to keep our democracies, our good people, working people, like the Koreans. I'm happy to know that things have been changing in Korea, and something scares me, the North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
North Korea has been all the time willing to invade the South because the South produces things that they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And North Korea is bigger than South Korea. You know that?
Yeah. They used to be better off than South Korea until late 1970s.
Sure.
Because North Koreans have most of the natural resources, industrial bases there, because Japanese put all those there.
But the agriculture is in the South.
Yes, yes, that's right. So I feel like this metaphor, what good can come out of Nazareth, is from the John chapter 1,
Yeah.
from the New Testament. The Philip introduced Jesus to his friend Nathanael, and Nathanael was meditating under the fig tree. And when Philip said to Nathanael that, hey, there is a Jesus from Nazareth, and Nathanael said, what good can come out of Nazareth? The Korea you saw in 1950 was like a Nazareth.
Yeah.
Did you have any hope about the future of Korea when you left Korea in 1951?
I never imagined what was the change that we are going to take place in Korea when we left there. We didn't have any idea about possible changes there. But I'm glad they have changed a lot about everything.
Because of the sacrifice and honorable service of the soldiers, especially in the very early phase of the Korean War from Puerto Rico and Hawaii. And these are the people we called minorities. So tell me about the segregation. Did you experience some discriminative policies of U.S. military at the time?
Until 1951 or 52, there was segregation everywhere in the U.S., including the military. So I think it was MacArthur came out with the idea of unifying the units.
Mix them together.
Mix them, yeah. And so they did it. I don't know if it worked better or worse, but they did it, and maybe it was the best thing to do. unify the air forces. You know, the black people, or, I mean, the black soldiers in the U.S. were separate from the white ones. And for example, in the honor guard of the 3rd Infantry Division, that was where I was during the first 6 months of 1951, there was one square escuadras. One
Squadron? Squads.
Squads. One squad of Puerto Ricans, 12 Puerto Rican soldiers. One squad of colored people from the States, Negroes. And 2 squads of white soldiers from the U.S. 4 squads. So with that, this segregation continued. I mean, began in 1951.
And then finally, President Truman desegregated.
Sure.
Yep. What do you think about the reunification of Korean Peninsula, North and South?
I don't think it will work.
Why not?
Because if North Korea invade, or I mean get into South Korea, they will try to spread communism in the whole island, in the whole peninsula, with the help of China and Russia. So, on the other side, if South Korea invade North Korea, it is impossible without getting in a war with China and Russia, which are the defenders of North Korea.
So after you return, what did you do? I think your job, your career is lawyer, right?
I entered the army for a period of 3 years.
University?
The army, in the
Army,
in
yes.
the army,
Yeah.
in the army. When I finished my 3 years, I get out and start studying at the University of Puerto Rico.
What did you study?
I studied for economist.
Ah. Did you get the GI Bill?
Yeah,
Ah.
I studied with the GI Bill. 4 years at the University of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And I worked for the government about 23 years and retired as lawyer on my
Retired
own. Yeah,
as a lawyer?
yeah.
So did you have a bar exam passed?
I have a bar since 1990.
Wow, that's an achievement.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the impact of your military service, especially about Korean War, upon your life? What is the impact overall upon your life?
Me getting into the army was, I think, the best opportunity because by that time it was difficult.
Difficult what?
To get a job in Puerto Rico and some other places because of the state of the economy. So I was doing something at the drugstore in order to do something because there was nothing else for me. I could not go to the university because there was no money in my family. So when I could enter the army, I saw in the sky open for me. I felt important. More brave than before, I would say, and I thought I could go now into the army and stay my life at the military, but it was not possible.
Mm.
Because when I finished my 3 years, the U.S. was drafting every people from the streets,
Yeah. For Vietnam War.
Vietnam War, and I was a sergeant when I left Korea, and I was going to be one of the instructors for all those guys getting in, so I decided not to stay.
Do you regret that you?
No, never. Sorry, you didn't finish your statement.
Even before I finished my statement, you said, "You're not stupid, right?"
I don't think so.
And you don't regret.
No.
Why is this happening? U.S. has to be in the war all the time. Somewhere you are still fighting in Afghanistan and IS.
No. When I complete my 3 years, I said that's enough for me. So I think it was the best thing I could do at that time.
So what is Korea to you now? You didn't know damn thing about Korea when you left for Korea.
No.
You didn't have any hope about the future of Korea when you left
No,
Korea.
I never thought about that.
So what is Korea to you now? And what is Korean people to you? Be honest, okay?
Different people, different things, different economy, different everything. They didn't have anything at that time. Just poor people in the country with a cow and I don't know, some agriculture. While I was with the honor guard, one time I remember the generals of the 3rd Infantry Division and all their officers stay at the university. The university was without windows, most of it was without ceiling, almost all destroyed.
Was in Seoul?
In Seoul,
Yeah.
the Korean University in Seoul. And it was one of the only buildings with some structure still up, because the rest was destroyed. You can imagine the rest. For example, Chorwon was, as I told me, it was a big town. During the war, Chorwon was destroyed, wholly destroyed. And some Marine wrote a sign saying this was Chorwon at the main entrance of the city. But close to the armistice, all those mountains to the west and north of the Korean or the Chorwon Valley were covered with Chinese troops. And capturing one of them was when I got wounded.
Now all those mountains covered with so much of the trees.
See?
And when you go back, if you go back, I hope that you can go back.
I hope so.
You will not be able to recognize the place.
No. I would not like to be there too because it is in the north.
So you are, how old are you now? You were born in 28. So let's see, 72, 82, 87.
I arrived to 88, the 26th of last month.
I know, your birthday is January. So
Yeah.
tell me, what is Korea to you now? What does that mean?
Korea, South Korea is a nice country, a beautiful country, nice people. And I'm glad to know that it's one of the best economic, related to economy. I think it is within the 10th first, right?
Mm-hmm.
and it is a technological power.
Yeah, but personally, what does it mean to you? We talked about the statistics. Korea is good in economy and so on.
Korea, I think it's still always be a nice place to be.
Even after you are wounded from there?
That's okay. It wasn't the North with the Chinese. So here we are yet.
Rafael, do you have any other stories that you want to leave to this interview? Any message or any story?
I can remember nice things from Korea, but most of them were not so nice, because most of them were facing the North Koreans first and later the Chinese. So many Chinese. And I remember Thanksgiving of 1950. We had the Thanksgiving dinner about 5 o'clock, and about 8 o'clock or 9, we have to forget about everything and face the North Koreans,
Yeah.
and the Chinese and everything. Jesus. But one of the things I can never forget is when I try to get one of my buddies dead out, at least to be sent to his family, and I couldn't do it. I think that's all I could say about Korea.
You know, I did an interview with a lot of Jangjin battle, chosen few, and many of them said, I don't want to go back to Korea because it's too much for me. I cannot digest.
I would like to go to Korea. I'm not scared about going to Korea because I know things are different now.
So you got to recover from that, okay?
I hope so.
And
I have to do it pretty soon.
yes, I hope to see you there, okay?
It would be nice to see you around there too.
Yes, yes. I was in Florida to interview with the Medal of Honor recipient, Hector Cafaretta.
See,
Yeah, and he got the honorary Medal of Honor from Korean government too. So my mission was to send him back to Korea. And finally he said yes. In the beginning I called him, he said, I don't want to talk to you. Who are you? And I called him again, and if you hang up again, I'll be in your house. I called him from Yale University to Florida.
I have some medals and some certificates from South Korea at home,
So
including the big one.
medal.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I really hope that you go back to Korea and see what happened. Because you gave us opportunity to rebuild our economy. Now we are strong. So that's what we are doing. We want to preserve your memories forever. And this is best way to do it. If we build a museum, that will cost a lot of money. And there will be no places for your pictures and so on. We don't have any limitations in that. It's all in the internet.
You know that Joseph's father was with me at the same time in Korea.
So I have to talk to him in Fort Worth, in Dallas. Yes. I'm so lucky to meet you. I was going around the hospital with Joseph, and he introduced me to you. It's my great honor to meet you, and I want to thank you on behalf of Korean Nation.
Thank you. It'd be nice to meet you too.
Sincerely thank you for your fight, and be healthy, hang in there, and let's see you in Korea, okay?
You know I think the last group that came to Puerto Rico, I think it was in November or December last year. they gather 6 or 7 Puerto veterans from Korea. And they gave us dinner at one of the hotels in Dorado. And they gave us a small envelope with 200 bills, $200 bills. I still had them in the same jacket at home.
You haven't spent it?
No.
Come on, that's the money is for. Yeah, it's not about money. It's, this is why we are doing it. We want to preserve your memory, honorable service, and sacrifice your wounds. And that result in the success of the Korean people right now. So you did beautiful thing. Beautiful thing came out of your service, okay? I want you to know that.
Thank
and
you.
Korean people always thankful about it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.